Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So you may recall back in December I did the 12 Days of Mary, where I started opening packages that I had been allowing to pile up for weeks and weeks. Well, I hate to say it, but I have been allowing some packages to pile up again. So I don't know why I do that. This is something I was very excited to order. And if you can read that address on there, that is from Daniel Smith, the Nibsmith. And I have never ordered anything from him before. And the contents of this package have been tweaked by him. I have never had a nib worked on by a professional before, so I'm really very excited. But I'm also quite nervous because this is the most expensive pen that I have ever purchased. Certainly not the most expensive pen in the world, but the most expensive pen for me. So I've been very nervous about opening it. I don't know. Just a big decision, I suppose. So this poor package has been languishing away for, gosh, like a month now. More than a month. So I felt like it was finally time to open it. So here we go. So cute. I think it's so cute when they put a box inside of a box. Okay, I'm going to rip this sucker open. Okay. Da, da, da. Ooh, it's so exciting. And nerve-wracking, let me just say. Ooh. Well, oh, there you go. You know what that is. And look, a sticker. What can I say? I'm the kid that plays with the box the toy came in. Here is this wonderful, expensive pen, and I am oohing and aahing over the sticker. But I love it. I'm going to have to find just the right place to put that. Okay. I have to admit, I'm a bit of a sticker hoarder. All of these stickers I have gotten from the different pen retailers. I think only one of them has actually ended up on a permanent place on one of my notebooks. Okay, well, my goodness, isn't that cool? So let's see what this says. Oh, I guess this is just the little instructional booklet from Pelican. So yes, this is a Pelican pen. And this is the second Pelican pen that I have purchased. Let me see. No. I bought the, what was it? The M205, I think, in olivine a few years ago. Because, you know, I got it on clearance. Because that's what I do. And at the time, that was the most expensive pen that I had ever purchased. And I was quite miffed when it arrived, and it turned out to have a steel nib instead of a gold nib. And I felt like for the price that I paid for it, even on clearance, that I should have gotten a gold nib. But I digress. So, I also have a Pelican Stola somewhere. I'm not sure where that pen is. Ooh, and I have the Pelican Twist, that cute little blue student pen. Oh, I love that pen so much. It's adorable. But it was like, you know, $8. So, this was a little more than $8. All right, well, there we are. This is the Pelican M600 in, oh, goodness, if I can get it out of the box. Wow. Ooh, wouldn't it be horrible if I ruined the pen trying to get it out of the box? I would die. Does this come out? I don't think it does. Okay. Cute box. Okay, so this is the M600 in violet and white. And I didn't think this pen was still available. I remember the Goulets talking about it, I guess about a year ago, or maybe more than a year ago. And they have pictures of it on their website, but they don't still have it available for sale. And, anyway, I didn't think it was available anymore, but then I saw this on the Nibsmith site. So, the M600, and I know the pens are different sizes. All the Pelican pens are different sizes. And I agonized and agonized over what nib size to buy. But honestly, okay, I was thinking, this little tag says extra fine. I don't know if you can see that. But that was not one of the choices that I agonized over. My decision was between a medium and a fine. But now I'm looking at the box, and I see that the box is a fine. So I consider this to be my first real experience with a Pelican. And I'm looking for my other Pelican. You know, I should have had this baby out already. Ready to go. Ready for my video. Here we go. So, here is the first culprit. This is the M205 olivine that I purchased a few years ago. And I really haven't used it much because I was really upset that it did not come with a gold nib. Let me see if I can get that to focus. I think this is a fine. But, yep, that's a fine. So, I was having a conversation with somebody online a few months ago, and she had an M205, and she loved it. And she said, no, get your pen out and write with it. It's a great pen. Pelicans make great pens. And I just never have. I mean, I've written with it a little bit, but not that much. Definitely not as much as I've written with, you know, Twisbees and Lamies and Pilots. The inexpensive Pilots, by the way. I don't have an expensive Pilot pen. So this is my first expensive, high-end pen. And I'm quite nervous about it. Quite excited, but quite nervous. So let's look at this nib. This was cleaned and tuned by the Nibsmith. My first ever tuned fountain pen nib. So I'm very excited about that. Is that focusing? I think that's focusing. That is quite a lovely nib. So I was having trouble deciding between the medium and the fine. I tend to like I tend to like medium pens, but I hear that the Pelicans are so juicy that they're honestly like a size up from a regular pen. So I debated and debated, and I finally decided to go with a fine. So I hope I haven't made the wrong decision. I'm not a fan of a fine nib, and this one has a fine nib, and I don't like it very much. Oh, I guess I should compare the sizes. So this is the M600, and this is the 205, and who else do we have here? Let me see. Pen. Here is my beloved Twisbee in the transparent blue. I'm actually surprised that the Twisbee, I guess I should zoom in a little bit. I'm surprised that the Twisbee is so much bigger than the Pelican. Now, why am I assuming that the Pelican would be bigger? Probably because it costs more. Which doesn't make any sense. Just because a pen is more expensive doesn't mean it would be larger. And here's a Preppy, just for comparison. What else do I have here? Oh, here's my little Quebeco. Come here, dude. He's a teeny weeny. But honestly, not that much smaller than the Pelicans. So, he's a little bit smaller. But Pelicans seem to be small pens. I'm just surprised. Of course, I hear that the M1000 is huge. And it's probably too big for me, and I'll probably never have one. So, it doesn't matter. But that's just what I hear. Let me see if I can line these guys up without their caps on. because, you know, they want to roll. I'll put my letter opener there to hold everybody in place. Let's see. Oop, come here, you. And just for fun, there's the little teeny Kaweco. Again, which is not that much smaller than the Pelicans. So, wow, the Eco is quite a bit bigger. Okay, let's compare the nibs. I love this Eco. This Eco is probably my favorite pen. It is just such a joy to write with. So let's see. Can we get these? Let me get this out of the way. Let's see if these guys will focus. Ooh, up close and personal. And again, we're having our lighting issues. But yes, the Pelican nib is much larger than the Eco nib. Interesting. Okay, so I was thinking that I would like to ink this pen up. Let me put these other guys away. Now, I didn't get any instructions from the Nibsmith. I don't know if he has instructions for people, so he has tuned this nib. And I'm not sure what that means. I've never had a nib tuned before, so I don't exactly know what they do. Tuned and smoothed. He's tuned and smoothed the nib. So I don't know if I need to rinse it out first before I ink it up. I don't know. What do you think? If he tuned it and smoothed it, he would he clean it out first? I don't know. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to worry about this. So maybe I'll just go flush it a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's a very strange experience to turn the piston on a pen and not be able to tell how far the piston is going. Because, of course, I'm used to my... Where's my little pen rest? This guy's just rolling around. No rolling around. Expensive pens cannot roll around. So I'm used to my little Eco here. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm used to my Eco, and when I turn the knob up and down, I can see the piston go up and down. And I know, you know, how much ink there's in it, how far I can twist it, and all that kind of stuff. Currently it's empty. It needs to be cleaned out. But this one, I did not seem to be able to turn the knob very much, which is making me think that it's not going to hold that much ink. So, I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I'm very nervous. Everything makes me nervous. Okay. So, I pulled out some of my purple inks, and actually I have to tell you, I went to my little ink cabinet to look for some purple inks, and I couldn't find any. I know I have purple inks. Where were all of my purple inks? And then I remembered that I had pulled all of my purple inks aside for 30 inks, 30 days in September, because I was doing all purple inks in September. So I went to the box where the purple inks were, and there they all were, all of my lovely purple inks. So I pulled out a few for us to take a look at. But that reminds me, I never finished my 30 days of purple ink. So I think I'm going to finish that up. Even though it's not September, and even though it's not a month with 30 inks in it, I just need to keep going with my 30 purple inks and just round out that list. So, of course, I have a bunch of different ones, but I just pulled out some that I thought would be fun to play with. Now, this bottle of Diamine Violet, I actually got this at one of the local pen shops. Not the one I normally go to, not the Norfolk Stationery. It's the one in Virginia Beach, Pen Lovers Paradise. And she was actually getting rid of her diamine ink. She's not going to carry it anymore. So she had all of her inks on clearance, and I don't get over there very often because it's kind of far for me to go. And she only had a few inks left. So this was one of the ones that I got. And I'm really not familiar with it. So, where is my notebook? But, you know, it was on clearance, so I couldn't leave it there. I just couldn't. Okay, so here's my little Clairefontaine notebook. So, why don't we do a little swatch of these purple inks? And this poor notebook was in the bottom of the box, so he's a little bent, but he'll be okay. So, okay, I'm just way too close here. Let's zoom out. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. Whoa, ooh, boy, this is a super wet ink. Okay, I don't know if I should put a super wet ink in a Pelican pen, because they're supposed to be so juicy, right? Okay, this is Diamine Violet. Ooh, that is lovely. Whoops, uh-oh. I just whacked my glass nib against my glass of water. But that's why I bought this replaceable glass nib, because I broke two before I got this one. Two traditional glass pens. Okay. This is Sailor Manyo Neko Yonagi. And I think this one acts kind of like a drier ink. I think some of these Manyo inks kind of have a weird sort of surface tension. So this might be a good match for the pen. Let's see. Ooh, it is just such an interesting ink. Oh my goodness. I love these Manyo inks. They're so fun. I don't know. Let me see. Who else do we have? And of course, I have more purple inks than this. These were just the I don't want to say the first four that I pulled out, but the top four that I pulled out. And this is Tasha Murasaki. I don't know if I've ever put this in a pen. Ooh, that's very pretty. And I don't know much about Tasha inks. I don't know if they're wetter or drier. Ooh, it is coming right off of this glass nib, so I am guessing he would be pretty wet. Maybe not the best choice for this Pelican. Gosh, I'm trying to think. Do I have any dry purple inks? I still struggle with that concept of wet or dry ink. I'm not sure. How do you tell if an ink is wet or dry? I know if an ink is really flowy, but still. Okay, this is Pure Pens. I love Pure Pens, and this is Flower of Scotland. Whoops. And I think this ink is made by Diamine, if I'm not mistaken. Uh-oh. Got a little too much ink on the nib there. do we think? What do we think? Honestly, I've never had any of these 4 inks in a pen before. So any one of them would be a wonderful treat in a pen. Oh, let me put his cap back on. Don't want any pen accidents, no pen catastrophes. Well, Diamond Violet, let's see. And I don't necessarily have to match the ink to the pen. I was just thinking that a purple ink would be nice in this pen. And that Neko Yonagi is very interesting. I think the Tasha ink is going to be too wet. And the Flower of Scotland, I think the Neko Yonagi might be a little bit too light. Okay, we're going to go with the Pure Pens ink. Oh, I'm so nervous. I can't handle these big decisions. Okay, so this is a piston filler. So I'm gonna crank the piston down, which again, it doesn't seem to move very far. I mean, you could see the gap right there where I unscrewed it. And that just doesn't seem to be that far. I don't know. Again, it's, you know, the first time I've used a pen like this, other than the Olivine, but that one's kind of translucent, so I can see the piston in that one. Okay, so here goes. I guess I need to stick it down in there. And then, oop, I hear it sucking air. And then I think you're supposed to crank it up and down a few times so it kind of gets saturated. All right, whew, good heavens. Now we are going to call that fully saturated. Goodness gracious. There's a big blob on there. Aren't you supposed to release a couple of drops, I think? And that keeps it from being oversaturated, perhaps. That's what I'm going to go with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That was a weird sound. I hope that was Gus snoring. Did I mention that it's late at night and I'm all alone? The gremlins are probably coming out to steal stuff. Okay, I'm trying to wipe the section off, because apparently the section is prone to getting ink on it. Because it's white, it's a white section, so that's going to show the ink more. And it's in the threads, so I'm trying to wipe the threads off. My goodness. Oh my goodness. And I don't mind that there's ink on the pen. I mean, it's a fountain pen. Fountain pens have ink on them. But I'm just thinking, when I touch the pen, it is going to get really messy. So I'm just trying to clean it up, because, you know, heaven forbid I get ink on my fingers, you know. Let's just try not to get any more ink on my fingers. Okay. We are going to say that is good enough. And where is Mr. Notebook? Okay. So, let's do a little bit of writing with this baby. All right. Whew. Whew. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. My first Pelican, my first high-end pen, my first high-end Pelican. Okay, so this is the Pelican M600 And what was the color? Violet white. Whoops, forgot the eye. And in it we have, oh, and this is a fine nib. And we have pure pens, flower of Scotland. Well, it feels nice and smooth, and the ink seems to be flowing well, but it's not gushing. So, and this is a gold nib, but I don't know how much flex is in it. So yeah, there's some line variation there. Of course, I don't want to break my new nib, but definitely you can get a little variation out of it. And I am so bad at doing these little squiggles. Mine always look like S's. I need to work on my squiggles. Very nice. Alrighty, well, I will be adding this to my collection of currently inked pens, which I need to be reducing, by the way. But I'm going to enjoy using this baby. And not be nervous about it, not be scared of it. I need to use it and enjoy it. And it does feel comfortable in my hand. Very nice. All right, well, that is all for today. So take care, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.